Welcome back to the next instalment of 10 for 10. This is a series from WatchGecko that sets out to inform you, the viewer, of 10 watches branching over 10 different categories that combined offer an extremely versatile, enjoyable and rounded collection, altogether coming in at a value less than £10,000. Some watches may be more expensive, some may be extremely affordable, but altogether they will collectively cost less than £10,000. Stay tuned to the channel for regular new episodes, as well as the WatchGecko blog for further coverage of each watch featured. Links will be in the description below. Now, the diving watch was a big one, and, depending who you ask, the chronograph is potentially even bigger. At its core, a chronograph is an instrument for recording time with great accuracy. Over the years, these precise tools have been fairly important for the whole world, let alone just the watch world. The chronograph has worn many hats as well, whether it be a racing chronograph for timing a hot lap at the track, harnessing a telemetric scale on a military chronograph, or it's for accurately timing 14 seconds to ensure crew members of Apollo 13 successfully make it back through the Earth's atmosphere. The mighty chronograph has been the go-to option for them all. With that very brief summary of the unbroken historical relevance of a chronograph aside, it should come as no surprise to hear there are quite a few different chronographs available in today's market. Introduced in 1996, the Sinn 3.5 Pilot's chronograph has clearly managed to stand the test of time with its classic proportions, high level of build quality and strong origins. And that's not even mentioning the watch's impressively obtainable price tag. This chronograph is yet another watch in the Sinn lineup, which further builds on the high reputation it's made for itself as a brand which started off making navigational clocks and pilot's chronographs back in 1961. The fully stainless steel case on the 356 comes in with a width of 38.5mm, a lug-to-lug distance of 45.6mm, and a thickness of 15.5mm. These dimensions tell us a lot about the watch straight away. However, it won't tell us the whole story. Not only is the case well sized, it's also complete with a bead-blasted finish, further pandering to the core traits of the Sinn brand. Both the screw-down caseback and crown contribute to the 356's 100 metres of water resistance. Not essential or even expected on a chronograph, but a welcomed addition nevertheless. The bezel on the 356 is stepped in design, effectively flowing into the domed acrylic crystal on the watch. It's worth noting here the 356 can be fitted with a sapphire crystal if preferred. However, I believe the acrylic once again hits those core Sinn traits, adding another level of character and personality to the watch, something which could have easily been lost with a sapphire crystal. Looking through the acrylic, long syringe hands impressively dominate the dial of the watch. These hands work to actively represent a whole subgenre of chronographs, and, once again, hit that Sinn branding brief. Another standout feature of the Sinn is the sheer amount of information the watch offers when you're wearing it. Excluding the obvious, at a glance of the wrist, the Sinn 356 comes with running seconds, a chronograph feature, elapsed minutes counting from 30, elapsed hours, day and date function. Not bad at all for a watch which is sub 40mm in width. Each of these subdials are ever so slightly sunken into the dial, adding subtle shadowing details, really assisting the definition of each subdial. These features all sit on a matte black dial, which perfectly contrasts the white Arabic numerals and details of the dial. Based on the layout of the watch's functions, some of you will be able to predict the movement powering the watch. The SW500 from Sellita is the automatic engine behind this mechanical timekeeping tool. It's hard to argue with this popular mechanical movement for the 356, especially when you consider once again the overall cost of the watch. The Sinn genuinely feels really comfortable on the wrist. The most notable feature of the watch for me was that bead-blasted stainless steel case. Much like the Hamilton Khaki Mechanical from episode 2, this fully bead-blasted approach leaves you with a sense of confidence in the watch, knowing it can take a knock or a scratch, and it tends to not leave any visual reminders. The watch's case width is ideal. If it was any bigger, the watch would lose charm, wearability, and a sense of balance. Admittedly, there is a lot happening on the dial of the Sinn. This may lead you to believe that legibility suffers because of this. However, I found quite the opposite. The syringe hands of the watch are very thick and noticeable, meaning if you are looking at your watch purely for the time at a glance, the Sinn 356 has no problem delivering that information to you. Each subdial and function of the watch is symmetrical and appealing to the eye, which, once again, really assists that legibility. Sure, the 15.5mm thickness is pretty substantial, but I genuinely didn't find it that noticeable on the wrist, wearing the watch from day-to-day office wear to relaxing weekends without any hassle. One of my favourite parts of this watch is the fact that you can clearly see Sinn fully understand what fans of the brand look for in watches. They understand their customers seek a deeper, more hands-on relationship to their watch. For example, each link is adjusted by 2 Allen keys. Their customers love purposeful construction, which is why a bead-blasted case, strong loom and a screw-down crown all feature. Drilled lugs feature on the Sinn's case for easy strap changing. And once you strap the watch to your wrist, the last action needed is to engage the deployment buckle and fold over that extra lock safety. Top marks to Sinn here for truly understanding what their customers really look for and appreciate in watchmaking. As just mentioned, the 356 is available on pretty much every type of strap you can think of, thanks to its wide selection on their site. However, we received the watch fitted to a fully bead-blasted bracelet, incorporating an H-link design. This option really plays on the watch's personality and character, another key point which enhances its chronograph over the competition. Let's see how we can give the 356 a completely different look. The Geckota Vintage Highley in dusty black. The strap seen here is easily one of our most popular straps. The padding around the top makes it a brilliant option for watches that are a little thicker than others. Here, the new dusty black uses gump leather, which has a thin layer of wax to help add some real character to the watch. The Geckota Lenchwick Racing with Horween leather in brown. This is a new strap for the Geckota range, and it's easily one of my favourite. This superior Horween leather was an easy choice for this strap, due to its renowned durability, comfort, refined smoothness and quality. Here we've gone for the dark brown option, which combined with the perforations in the strap, really complement the Flieger origins and DNA of this watch. The ZULUDIVER 141 NATO. Finally, we have a NATO. The 141 NATO by ZULUDIVER is our practical, tough NATO in the range, which is why it only made sense to be the pick of the bunch for the Sinn. Both the satin hardware and green colour pick up on the practical aspects of the 356 to complete not only a vastly different look, but also a very appealing one. So, for all the Sinn's positives, what are some of its negatives? Where does the 356 lose a few marks? Let's take a look. First, the overall buckle quality. For as impressive, comfortable and relevant the metal bracelet is on the 356, it did lose a few marks for me when it came to the deployment buckle. One thing that is very obvious right from the outset is the overall weight of the watch when fitted to the bracelet. It's around 150 grams. However, the thin, stiff and quite clunky buckle did let the overall bracelet down a little. The use of Allen keys for links. As mentioned previously, this is something that really does suit the Sinn brand down to a T. But for me, a simple standard screw link is more than acceptable for modern day watches. As enjoyable as removing and adding links was on the Sinn, I can see why some people may find this whole process a little time consuming. The thickness of the watch. First things first, for a 15.5mm watch, the 356 genuinely wears impressively slender on the wrist. However, if the watch was able to shave just a few millimeters off to come in around the 12 to 13mm, it would make this great watch just that little bit better. The phrase splitting hairs comes to mind. So, why this watch? Well, a chronograph in a collection for many is a must-have. It's up there with one of the most useful complications in horology, which in a world where moon phases, minute repeaters and tourbillons are still popular, the chronograph has managed to remain useful and modern. This is something I don't see changing anytime soon either. The ease and accessibility of being able to instantly set the chronograph off with a click of a pusher is a lot quicker than pulling an iPhone out of your pocket is, let alone navigating an Apple Watch. The 356 from Sinn embodies not only all things the German brand stand for, but also the chronograph in general. The watch is littered with genuinely useful features and additions, all while sitting in a highly wearable and now quite desirable size. When you consider the 356 can be ordered from Sinn directly for less than £2,000, it doesn't really get much better than that. The Sinn 356 Flieger chronograph is currently available starting from €1,650. To find out more and explore the whole Sinn lineup, check out their site. Links will be in the description below. Stay tuned to the channel for the next episode of 10 for 10, where we explore another great watch that is perfect in creating a well-rounded collection.